episode 2, chatting with Chapman. We've got an absolute treat here today. Tony Longhurst, CEO of the Boatworks up here at the Gold Coast. Good morning, Tony, and thanks for joining us.
Great to be here. This is where I am every day, actually.
Yeah, it's an epic facility that we've obviously now been a part of for the last 2 years, and also a sensational story that obviously that started back in the 50s with obviously your father John and your brother Rodney and the likes of Pace Mowers, Pride Boats.
And Dreamworld.
And Dreamworld, yes,
Dreamworld.
and also Dreamworld. And then obviously here we are here at the Boatworks, and I think just that whole story as a whole of where you started off as obviously a Bathurst race car driver to now.
As well. Bathurst winner, not a race car
Winner,
driver.
yeah.
Thank you.
To where we are now. So yeah, I think a lot of people want to hear about that story. So yeah, can you tell us where that stopped and where that started and how we got here today?
Yeah, and for me it nearly feels a dream. I can remember back, 6 or 7 years of age, whatever, going to Pride Boats at Landsvale and terrorising everyone there. So I saw that journey of Pride. I can't remember what he did with Pace. This is my dad I'm talking about now, John Longhurst. But going through the evolution of Pride, selling Pride, and then my dad would travel to the States every year. So he'd go across there to see what was happening in America and get ideas for the boats. And then he wanted to do like Kentucky Fried Chicken. So he's going through a phase, Uncle John's Fried Chicken, and out in Sydney, around Campbelltown, looking for sites of that. And then all of a sudden he just came up with the idea he wanted to build Australia's version of Disneyland. So the Dreamworld evolution or journey, we were at a dining room table at home at Yowie Bay in Sutherland, and he's got different Dreamworld logos. Pick a logo that you like, that sort of stuff. So It was so family based and involved, lots of bits and pieces. Couldn't find a block of land in Sydney. Even back then, the red and green tape for getting approvals off freeways. He tried to get a block of land, I remember, at the Crossroads out near Liverpool there. That didn't work out. So eventually came up here, found the block of land at Coomera, which is where we are. We're at Coomera here. The Boatworks is actually 2 kilometres from where Dreamworld is. Bought the block of land there, 170 acres.
Wow.
The land that was on the highway paid $800 an acre for.
Yeah.
The back part of it, $600 an acre.
Wow. Crazy.
Yeah,
I remember only not long ago I was detailing my first boat here in 2008, and the majority of this field here was all cane and still very much farmland.
It was.
Yeah.
So there's just nothing out here at all. There was no bridges to Hope Island. Dirt road here down. We used to come down water skiing after work at Dreamworld, and you could stand in the Coomera River. The cows used to walk across there to get to Hope Island. So it's just changed so much. So I spent, Dad bought the land at Dreamworld 74. I stayed in Sydney for a few years and ended up being a qualified bricklayer. I came up in 78.
There's talk of you guys actually, you and your brother actually working in Dreamworld, helping develop it at the time when you guys built it. And there's a lot of that throughout this facility here. You see signs around the area and a lot of Dreamworld actually in this facility, which is pretty cool.
You couldn't believe it. I know for me, I'm older than Rodney, but for 4 years we worked 7 days a week. Dad was on a dozer for 2 years digging out where the lake is, chopping down trees, laying the railroad track all by hand. So it was a huge effort to get that place open. So for 4 years there was about 8 of us there. The last year we ended up with 100 people and ended up selling it. And at about the same time, Rodney was off doing backpackers. And I think about 2000, he bought this block of land here off Bruce Harris from Sharkat. And he and Wes Moxley, his right-hand man, his CEO, set about getting the marina going here.
What was it here before you guys actually became involved? Was there just a basic marina or a facility?
Just gravel. When Rodney bought it, it was just gravel, just a couple of tin sheds. The whole area was just cane field. Beatty Road behind Dreamworld, across at Sanctuary Cove, Hope Island. In the 80s, it was just cows and cane, nothing else.
Wow.
So it's been amazing, the change and journey in the Coomera area.
So from Dreamworld, you guys then stemmed into obviously the Boatworks and kicked that off the ground. There's also Riviera alignment with your brother as well, Rodney, and him being next door. How did that all come into play?
Well, in between doing all that, I did 20 years racing cars, and that was weekend. Then I had my own team from 94 to 2000. So jumping to about 2000, we'll jump forward now from 2000, 2003, whenever Rodney bought the Boatworks. I think 2012, 2013, I'd retired. I had a catamaran. I was just cruising up and down the east coast of Australia kiteboarding, and I thought that was going to be my life.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with that. So I was starting to do a bit. I was starting to do a bit of sailing.
Yeah.
Rodney, then Riviera was in receivership, and all of a sudden he wanted to do that. So I think it's 2012, 2013. So we had a bit of a shuffle around. He wanted to get out of the boat works into Riviera. I thought I'd grab hold of this and with my brothers and sisters, just spend 1 or 2 days a week and see what we could do here. And it evolved, so it wasn't planned. So once I got hold of the business, Rodney was doing Riviera. We did a discount situation because there was only, I think the record amount of boats they'd had in a week was about 18 boats. There was plenty of hard stand here, but no sheds, or only a couple of sheds. So we ran a discount program, pay 1 week, get 1 week free.
Yeah.
Within 3 or 4 months, we had the yard full.
Wow.
So all of a sudden, we're getting new tenants in, and we're in the most amazing position that as a family, we didn't have to take any money out of the business. So anything that was coming in, we'd just spend. We'd start off and built the K sheds, and then we built the chandlery, and then we built the galley restaurant. And I just did 1 or 2 projects at a time, what I could see we needed. We had the sea lift and the 70-ton machine. We thought we'd get the 100 so we could lift bigger boats, so we ended up with 3 machines, redid the runway down there, and all of a sudden we're doing 30 to 40 boats a week. Everything we built, we could lease out and build. We kept the place really clean. And I've got to say, my dad was really hard work. He was a tyrant to work for, but, keeping stuff spotlessly clean, it was embedded in me from what he was doing, and also the racing. So what we set out to do is make it so the place was, so you'd want to come here.
It's a destination, yeah. And I think that's what people love about it. You come here, it's not just a yard. There's the car collection facility, which we're sitting in now. You've got restaurants, you've got cafes, you name it, it's got it.
It's clean. Guys drive in here, you can drive in a Porsche, jump out in bare feet and walk around the place. The toilet's always immaculate, and you can bring your family here. But I go to other marinas and slipways on the east coast of Australia, and I suppose not so much marinas, but you go to the slipways, normally the places are all dumps.
Yeah.
There's wire cable, there's pallets, there's old anchors and junk everywhere. We haven't got that here, and that's elevated us up to a different offer. Then in 18, the land was available across the road where it was just a land of broken dreams. It was just a dump. So bought the land between us and Riviera and started to develop that. Got it all finished. They couldn't stop us opening then. We got the seabed lease. And now 4 years later, they're now using the Boatworks as their model going forward for slipways.
You guys have over 100 tenants now on site. I mean, I'd hate to think of the numbers of employees that come through this venue day on day. Not even despite, a lot of the boats that are now transiting from obviously the Whitsunday region down here to get serviced, up from Sydney. I mean, the place is just absolutely humming.
Yeah, well, we're now lifting 50 boats out of the water and 50 boats back in, so 100 boat movements a week is our normal. We have got 100 sheds. It's just this 100 number keeps rolling up and around 100 tenants. So we're fully leased. The level of tenants and partners we've got in the business has increased dramatically. For me, as the Boatworks CEO, the place is just getting better and better and better.
Yeah.
Even since you've been here, we've put in the in-water sheds.
Yeah.
We've now started on Pier 25, which is accommodation and offices, and I think we built the Q complex on the wharf or something.
And at the end of the day, it's best for everyone because ultimately, the power of many is far greater than one. And the more we can elevate and continue to expose this place and make it, and even vet it as a world-class shipyard facility, which it's widely recognised as already, the more boats are going to come here.
Well, you look at the cost of real estate and what's happening in Sydney. Any old slipway gets knocked down and a high-rise puts up. But the environmental problems of looking after a small site, you can't get approval. It's a disaster. But look, with Riviera next door to us, Maritino, all their boats come through the yard. And what's happening down at Main Beach, we're going to end up with another couple of 100 berths in our region. And it's a great pit stop. You've got your boat in Sydney, bring it here on the way up to the Whitsundays or on the way back.
Yeah.
And, it's evolved. It wasn't planned.
Yeah.
And so that's what makes it pretty neat.
Yeah, you can make a comfortable trip out of it. You can hop the boat up here, obviously all the way up via the New South Wales coastline to the boat works. Come in here, watch your boat get worked on, sit in the VIP lounge while it's getting water blasted, and make a holiday of it before you then transit up to the Whitsundays and beyond. Awesome. So we've gone from pace mowers to Pride boats to Bathurst to Dreamworld, now to the Boatworks where we are today. What brought you, or what created this vision to create the best shipyard facility that I believe in the Southern Hemisphere?
I think for me personally, what I went through at Dreamworld, the construction of that with Dad, watching that evolve, and then 20 years racing. And mate, it's not easy to win a car race. It's not easy to win Bathurst a couple of times. And you become a bit, I suppose, psycho with the attention to detail and doing things. It evolved for me. The yard, I come in here sometimes, if I'm away for a week or two, I rock in and go, man, this place is incredible. But you break down and you do one thing at a time. So I focus really hard on doing that. So this building we're doing now, the Pier 25, 2 showrooms, 2 offices and accommodation for 8. But we're really focused on that now, push to get that done. As soon as that's finished, I'll forget about that and we go on to the next thing. But it's just, I've been very fortunate to have a mentor like my father. I'm very fortunate to go through car racing with a guy, Frank Gardner, to understand what's required to be successful. And, you don't need a college degree or any shit. You just need to get focused and I like focusing on one thing. Yeah,
no, it certainly speaks for itself. And the details in the facility are just insane. And I've been to all the best shipyards around the world, Rybovich, Viking Service Centre, you name it, I've been there. And
ours is better. It is.
No, definitely.
I went across to Florida there, and I checked everything out, and I can't find anything as good as this place. And like I said, I feel so proud about that fact, but it wasn't planned. It
happened
evolved.
organically, yeah.
And there's a lot more to come. So I've got a few more things that I want to do. I thought I would have got sick of the business by now and achieved enough, but it's just my nature to be competitive and press on. And again, Cooper, you guys, you don't think so, but you made a difference coming into the business, and it's given us another sort of second wind or a push forward. And some of our partners in here now, it's just sensational.
Yeah, you see people go from having 2 cars to 5 cars in the space of a couple of months. The industry's thriving. We're supposed to be in this economic crisis currently, and you come up here and you'd think it's the complete opposite. So, another credit to what's taken shape here, by yourself over the years. And talking about what's next, obviously you've got the accommodation that's being developed. The primary goal of that accommodation is to house superyacht crews during their stay here and just people associated with the yard. Can you elaborate any further on that? And is there anything else in the pipeline beyond that development?
There are some things going to happen, but I just don't want to talk about that at the moment. But to have accommodation here
is critical.
It will be fantastic. It really will make a difference, and that will lead to more things. Like I said, it just leads. We get something built. Wow, we'll need another 50 rooms. We need more office or showroom or factories or more sheds for boats. So I just like to do one step at a time. But I'm really keen to see how far I can, in my lifetime, how far I can get this.
Take it.
This business, what we can do. And we've got something that's so special now. It's getting better. It's spiralling up. The energy's out there. It really, really is neat.
Yeah, awesome.
And we've got a party on Friday. Bring it on.
Yeah, we do. We've got the annual rendezvous event, which will be the second year we've hosted that. And the goal of that event, again, is just to bring this whole wonderful facility and all the trades and the contractors and the tenants together. But more importantly, to continue showcasing this place on the world stage and encouraging more people to come, and of course it's going to be bigger and better, and thank you for the support.
How can it be any better than last year? Everyone said it was the best party they've ever been to in their lives.
Oh, well, wait till this one. This one's going to be pretty special.
We look like we've got nice weather, so we're very fortunate for that. But that rendezvous last year, it's everyone's still talking about it. So
we're all super excited.
I don't know how you guys came up with that. we're in for anything. But, we'd never thought of it. And again, Cooper, that's what happens. Premium people, premium partners, it lifts, it changes something. It leads to something else.
Yeah.
And we support that, 100%. Whatever you want from us financially or the site, it's so important. And it bonds everyone together.
Definitely. Definitely. And that's our goal. We, again, the more boats, the more jobs, the more, the more for everyone. So hopefully we can just get more bigger boats to travel down here.
I see last week we've got the Lamborghini boat in. The Chapman guys are looking after it. Sam's there and you've got a crew of 4 or 5 guys. But everyone was working. I'm wandering around early in the morning and I'm just looking at your crew. So however you've got it organised, it was really nice for me to see, and
awesome.
Again, other companies in here, see what you guys have done and it just we're spiralling up, which I can't believe after 13, 15 years of owning, 14 years of having this business. It's getting stronger and it's really going to jump. The rest of the industry won't get to us now. We've got a monopoly over the industry, but most of the journos and most of the people out there don't realise it. Come in and see how many new boats are available at the Boatworks. You go across to Sanctuary Cove Boat Show, 90% of the boats that are over there are here and available 24/7. It's pretty good.
And I think it's it's really just the beginning for this industry. It's growing exponentially. I remember 15 years ago on Sydney Harbour, the 30-metre Warren AQA was the biggest, one of the biggest boats on the harbour, and now that size has increased by 20, 30 metres. So it's awesome to see the evolvement of this of Australia and the yachting community and just how much it's growing, and I really think it's only the start.
You're too young. I'll go back to when I was 15 or 16 in Port Hacking. The first 35 Bertram arrived in Australia. It was called Bostic. It was in Burraneer Bay or Catamount Bay there. We had a 25 Bertram, so my dad thought he was pretty good. And we just used to look at this 35 and go, man, what a boat.
When am I getting that?
35 foot, could you imagine that? Now you don't even look at them, so you're right.
So Tony, just to wrap up our interviews, we've got a standard Chapman question we ask, and that is, what are the ins of the industry and what are the outs? So let's start with, what are the ins?
The ins. The best thing about the industry, 99% of the people we deal with are good quality people. They've got a boat, they look after their families, they want to enjoy life. So we're dealing with great people. So that is really a huge plus.
Yeah.
The outs, the worst thing for our industry, and still no one really gets it, is our bureaucratic red and green tape. God knows where we're going to put the boats in 10 or 20 years from now. The difficulty dealing with, even here on the river, 7 or 8 government departments. You start dealing with Waterways Authority, DESI, the Harbours and Marines, the Fisheries, and you can't get answers out of anyone. And they seem to have an inbred thing, let's stop the boats, let's stop development because they're rich bastards and, we're going to chop down a mangrove or do something. So that, for me, is such a difficult thing that the government doesn't realise how good boating is for families, for people, and people that are lucky enough to have a boat, look after them. The other really good thing is these boats create so many jobs. I look at the Boatworks now, over 1,000, 1,200 people here. The Boatworks, there's $1 million worth of wages going through here every day.
Crazy.
Not buying stuff, that's just wages.
Yeah.
It is.
And that doesn't disregard the expenditure with all the local trades that support it either. I mean, Morris Nautical were in here only a few months ago, with their fleet of 5 superyachts, and I'd hate to think just the economics that were running through the place then.
I know the figures that Chandler do. Just it's I don't know what gets turned, what the turnover is through the Boatworks, but it's into the hundreds of millions of dollars, and it's all jobs: cleaning the boats, detailing them, fixing the engines, anti-fouling them. It's just the supply chain. It's really, really special, and I'm really proud that it's created so many jobs. I look next door at Riviera and Maritino, across down here to the aluminium manufacturers. There must be 5,000 or 6,000 people employed here full time, and it's growing.
No, it's awesome, and thank you for taking it on and getting it done, and opening up the facility to all of us.
Yeah, it's pretty good, eh?
Pretty good.
Okay, rendezvous. Let's go. That's enough of this.